Good morning or good afternoon. Today is my favorite day of the week. Today is Friday and it is the 12th of June. This is our last English lesson for the week. This week we are learning about the sound, the breathing sound. Say it with me. Okay, now before we get going with writing down our words, it is very important that we remember all of the letters we have learned can either be a giraffe letter, a tortoise letter, or a monkey letter. So before we start writing down our words, I want you to go through each letter written. You are going to point to it, say the sound, and then say whether it is a monkey, a giraffe, or a tortoise. So if I start, I would say S, tortoise, A, tortoise, tortoise. Go down both lines and see if you can remember. Okay, we are going to practice writing down our phonics words for the week. You will see that all 6 words we have learned have been written down here in the blocks. You are going to read the word and then write it down 3 times. A piece of paper has been given to you in the pack that has space for you to write down these 3 words. So off you go. Remember, you can read the word, look at it, say the word, and then write it down. Don't forget to check your answer. Here are our 3 sight words for the week. Of, off, and or. Practice writing down these words 3 times as well. Okay, grade 1s, now you will see that this activity has been added into your pack. It is called Activity 2 and we are planning to do it on Friday. So what you need to do, I'm sure you will recognize this kind of activity as an activity we have done in our books at school. It is to practice handwriting. And this week we are learning about the sound, so we are practicing this letter. Every time you see dark lines, these are lines that have been written in for you, numbers, letters, this is for you to trace over. So grab a Mr. Gray if you have one at home, otherwise a colored pencil will do, and trace over my heading. My date comes first, and I put a finger space in between, then I put another finger space, and my heading is Activity 2. And our heading and our date always goes at the top of the page. Then as you will see going down, we have different dots in the margin. Let's go to our second dot. This has got a full line of the H sound. There's lots of them, you can count them. You are going to go with your colored pencil over these letters, one at a time, very slowly, tracing over mine from top to bottom, up the same line, and a hump to the right. Then if you look at the next line, these are dotted H, and the same thing goes. You trace over my dotted H carefully up and a hump to the right, making sure that you touch top and bottom all the way through. Then the next line only has one for you to trace over. So you will trace over it very carefully. Then you need to add your own finger space. So with your helping hand, you put a finger space next to the letter and then you start drawing your own H. Now, it might take you a while to get it perfect, but the more you practice, the better it will be. Go slowly and do one at a time very carefully. If you only want to do 4, that's fine, as long as you know you have got the handwriting correct. Then on the next line, we are going to start writing words. So first you trace over my solid line, carefully each letter. Make sure you get the giraffe and the 2 tortoises on the right line. Then you're going to do a finger space and write down the word yourself. Now you only need to write down the word twice more, 2 times more, so that you can practice enough. When we write down words, we need to look carefully at my one. You will see there is no finger space in between the sounds of the word. We don't put finger spaces inside of our words. We only put them in between new words. So if it is just three sounds next to one another, do you see there is a small little gap? It's not a big gap. It's not a finger space. It is just a small little gap so that the two letters have their own space to be able to breathe. Just like nowadays, we can't stand on top of one another. Sis, we will share each other's germs. And it's the same for the letters. They don't want to stand on top of each other. We must put little spaces in between. So write out ham 2 more times and write out hen 2 more times in the same way. Then last up, you can see we have a sentence. Let's read the sentence together. She has a hat. Again, she has a hat. Now what you're going to do is you're going to trace over all of my letters so that you make the sentence yourself. Don't forget the little full stop. And then afterwards, you can even practice writing this sentence out on the next line if you want to try doing something a bit more difficult. So you can copy down my words onto the next line for extra practice. Don't forget to add your finger spacing. Nice work, grade ones. I am so proud of you. To end off the week, we are going to listen to a story, and this story will be on our little book. Listen closely and look at all the pictures to try and remember all of the things that little put in her box. As I've said, today we are going to read the story, My Book, and it is a book by Jane Belk-Moncure, and it's part of the My First Steps to Reading series. So let's get started. My Book. Little had a box. He said, I will fill my box. So he found lots of hats. Good, we know that word. Hat. Something that we wear on our head. How many hats did he find? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different hats to put in his box. He put on a hat and he put lots of hats into his box. Next, little found we also know this word. He found a hen. Hi, hen, he said, come into my box. Then he found a hog. Now, a hog is another word for a pig. So he found a hog, and into his box went the hog. Little then found a horse, and he hopped on the horse, ready for a ride. The horse went up the hill. Go higher, said Little but the horse stopped. Why do you think the horse stopped? I think maybe he was afraid of something on the hill. So Little put the horse into his box. That must be a big box. Then he found a helicopter. Helicopter. 4 parts. And a helicopter is a kind of transport. The helicopter could go high, but the helicopter went too high. So what did they all start screaming? Help! 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 So Little decided not to ride the helicopter. Instead, he put the helicopter into his box. Then Little put the box on his head. He did not see the hole. Oh dear, down they went. How can we get out? Said Little H. How can we get out of this hole? Asked the hen, the hog, and the horse. 3 different animals in the box. The hen, the hog, the horse. Then Little H had a horn. Now a horn is a musical instrument that you can blow like a trumpet. I will blow my horn, he said. Toot, toot. That's obviously going to make a noise. Who heard the noise? It is that's right, a hippo heard the horn, and she helped them out of the hole. That's a happy hippo. How can I thank you? Little H asked. Said the hippo. I like your helicopter. How about a ride? So Little H took the helicopter out of his box. Then they flew up, and away, all the way home. Now, I hope you could hear all of the words in that story that have a H in the beginning. Let's look. Little H had a helicopter. What are some of the other things that Little H had in his box? Read them out to the adult with you now. Very good, grade ones. Thank you for a great week. We will see you again next week for more English learning. Goodbye.